Alright guys, day 9 of 31 Days of Horror. I watched the last horror film. That's right, the last horror film. There were no other horror movies ever made after the last horror film. But this one is weird because this one, called The Last Horror Film, is kind of a cool title. I do like that. And also this movie is made by Troma. Like, I like that as well. I thought that was pretty cool because Troma is a horror thing that I really need to see more of. I have seen Troma movies, but I want to see a lot more. I've seen like the big ones like Toxic Avenger and all that, but I need to see a lot more of the more obscure ones. And this one, again, it was made by Troma and also stars Joe Spinell, who was in Maniac, he was incredible in Maniac in a way where he was scary as hell, and he was one of the scariest performances ever in a movie in Maniac. And Joe Spinell is back in this movie, and this was his last like big screen like main star movie because he died in '89, and like I guess his other movies he wasn't like the main star. Now this one, the plot of this movie is interesting because this one is different than a typical horror movie in which it's the same as every horror movie slasher. It's not anything different in that way, but it's different in a way where it's set at the Cannes Film Festival. I thought that was kind of a cool idea that it was set at the film festival where like Joe Spinell's character Vinny is obsessed with this girl who is like this actress, and like he wants her to be part of his like script and like his movie he's gonna make, and he's gonna make her even more famous than what she is, and he's obsessed with her, and it's just one of those movies where he follows her, she doesn't like it, and then there's a killer going around at the same time during this. And for me, it feels like this movie has a lot of things that are just like other horror movies, where it's not really super unique besides the fact that it's set at like a film festival. I thought that was creative. But like there's like things that are like so out of other movies that are just kind of blaring, where the killer does the peeping Tom type of thing where he's like filming the people's reactions or like them getting murdered sometimes. And in Joe Spinell in this movie is literally, it's like he's doing Maniac again, because his performance in this isn't as crazy as Maniac, but he does a lot of similar beats, and it's just very interesting that he does similar beats, and his character has a mother that he talked about all the time, and like in Maniac, he did the same thing, even though the mother was abusive in Maniac. But it cracks me up. There's a lot of similarities to Maniac. There's similarities to Peeping Tom. And this one also just has a lot of references feeling to other horror movies, where like it doesn't have a giant identity to it overall. Like for me, this one, I didn't really like it a lot, but I liked Joe Spinell fine. I liked the actors fine. The gore wasn't too bad either whenever it was shown. But honestly, this one was just really forgettable. Like it's weird. I didn't hate it, but it's just a forgettable movie. Like it was honestly kind of boring and uninteresting, despite having a cool location for this horror movie to take place in, which I would have appreciated more if the movie I just cared more about, but not really. This one was just really not that great. Not terrible, just not really forgettable, or not really memorable at all. It was pretty forgettable, so yeah, that's all I could say about the last horror film. This was a weird watch. I don't regret watching it, but it's just a weird one that's just kind of forgettable. So that's my thoughts. Tell me down below if you guys have seen this movie, and thank you guys so much for watching.